Welcome, everybody. We are so excited tonight to be at Wednesday Wellness again, and we have Dr. Bly Hatch to be our guest presenter. He is going to share with us his wisdom and experiences of how we can overcome those stopping blocks in our lives. And so I'm going to let him take it away. We were all brought here from one company together called LifeVantage. And if you have any questions about any of the products or things that might be mentioned, that you can get back to the person who invited you to this Zoom to get that information and the detail that you need so you can make a decision if this is for you or not. And other than that, we're just going to have Dr. Bly just go for it.
Hey, welcome everyone. My name's Dr. Bly. I go by Dr. Frank Hatch. I just have to be on cognito out here. I've been in practice for a little over 25 years here in Surprise, Arizona, actually 27 to be exact. And I actually graduated from Palmer West Chiropractic College in 1992, believe it or not. It's been a long, long time. So why am I a chiropractor talking about, reaching our goals and looking at things? And I actually want to relate this to something everybody can relate to, which is weight loss, okay? Weight loss is something everybody can relate to, because the other day I had a patient come in. We're 2 weeks into the year, and she says, holy crap, I blew my whole program. I says, what do you mean? She says, I'm not on my weight loss program. My kids' school shut down again. They came home and I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. And so I didn't get them to go exercise this morning. I didn't go do the things that I wanted to do because all of a sudden an interruption happened. Does anybody ever have that happen? All of a sudden you're in this routine, you have a routine. I get out of my routines and it really throws me off, okay? I have this routine and that's the way it is. But we have to sometimes adapt, right? We have to adjust and adapt to those routines. And that's what happened in this situation. She was having this terrible moment because her kids got sent home. And now she's having to be a school teacher, a mom, and work from home all at the same time. Okay, and some of you can relate to that right now. 2021 is not much different than 2020 right now. Okay, and so what we need to do is learn how to adapt. So a couple things that I'm going to go through tonight is I'm going to share my screen here in just a moment, but think about in your lives, what are some of those things that get in our way and how are we reacting to them? Okay, are we reacting to them as reactiveness, or are we coming to a solution to get to that point? So I'm going to relate this, like I said, to weight loss. Okay, how many people have weight loss goals this year? They want to, maybe not just weight loss, but maybe they want to improve their overall health, right? Does everybody have something like that? They're looking at it saying, hey, you know what? I want to improve how I look, how I feel. I want to improve my physical and mental condition. I want to improve my overall financial condition. Okay, I want to get more time freedom, whatever it may be. That may be what you're looking at. Well, what's keeping you from having those successes? Okay, is it your kids came home and they're back here from school and they're having to now become mom and school teacher? Or is it the fact of other things? So there's three things we can really relate to when we look at this. The first one is physical, okay? Physical, we all have a physical body. We all have to do things with that physical body. So kind of relating this back to the gym, we can look at this and say, okay, when we get ready with our physical aspect of going to the gym, what do? We go buy a brand new workout outfit, right? January's biggest new workout outfit, may even buy 2 or 3 of them, all right? We may go join the new gym, or we may do videos from home, whatever it may be we may be doing. We may actually go get a workout buddy, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever it may be. We start looking at somebody to be a little bit of a support system, okay? Because if we have people to help us, we don't get discouraged. But if we're doing it by ourselves, what happens? We get discouraged. I'm not going to get out of bed at 6:30 in the morning. I'm going to stay in bed because it's cold out there or it's too hot. So then we set a time to go to the gym, or we set a time to do our workout, right? That's with anything physically. Now, why is the physical aspect so important in any of our goals? If we don't feel good physically, okay, whether it's we're doing a workout, or whether it's we're going to our job where we have to work, or whether it's we're building a business in a traditional business, a network marketing business, whatever it is, that some of the times creates a situation. I'm going to open up a note here. That creates a situation where if we don't feel physically well, we have issues. Okay, so we need to do something to help ourselves physically well. We want to look good. Okay, we want to make sure that we're presentable for work. We don't want to wear frumpy clothes and not look good. We don't want to physically just not feel well. and I'm sure there's people that don't feel well on this program or that may know this. And as you go through, how do you get yourself physically well? Well, you start moving, you get the body moving, you get flexibility. So two things I want you to remember about physical. There's two things that happens. When we do not have flexibility, we end up getting we get rigor mortis. Now, what's ultimate rigor mortis? Death. Okay. So if we're not flexible, if we don't keep that flexibility, so a couple things you can do every day physically that's going to help you in your quest in life is becoming flexible. Okay. Make sure you're doing some type of stretching exercise. Make sure you're doing some type of motion. The second thing is strength. Okay. If we can't get up out of our chair, we can't do things and get out of our chair, what ends up happening to us? We end up losing muscle mass, right? And then we don't feel like doing anything. Does anybody lay on the couch and they say, oh, I don't feel like doing anything? Okay. You know, I get to that point once in a while, especially if I eat ice cream. Because ice cream is its own food group, right? So when I eat ice cream, what ends up happening is I will actually get back and say, you know, that was really good. I'm not going to do anything. Worst thing I can do. So physical is really, really important. So we want to have physically good health. We want to be flexible and we want to have good strength. So I want you to think about the physical aspect of our body. All right. How about nutritional? Okay. What we put into our bodies will give us our outcome. So when we look at it right at the first of the year, I'm going to relate this back to the diet. We may search out a diet. We may want to change how we're eating. So we look at maybe a paleo diet or a ketogenic diet. Maybe we're looking at intermittent fasting. But my favorite diet I ever knew in my entire life was when I was a kid, when every year in January, my mother and a few of her friends would start the milkshake diet. I liked that diet because we'd go get a milkshake. Okay. And I said, man, this is a great diet. I put on 10, 15 pounds as a kid. And I thought, you know, that is great, but I felt sluggish. I felt tired. I was irritable. I had a lot of different things. So if we're going out and putting fuel in our car, okay, to drive our car, we get really not feeling well. Okay. And if we don't feel well or our car doesn't run well, we may end up on the side of the road. How many people have ended up stranded on a car waiting because maybe you didn't put the gas in to the car, or maybe you had some fuel injectors were clogged because the type of gas you were putting in or the maintenance that you didn't do on that car stopped working. Okay. Nutritionally, what we put into our body will help our outcome, not only in our physical health, but also our overall goals in life. Okay. So that's what we want to look at. So a couple things I always like to tell people. When we eat something, we train our bacteria in our gut to start craving certain foods. So if we're eating a lot of breads, carbohydrates, dairy, things of that nature, guess what we start craving? We start craving dairy, we start craving carbohydrates, we start getting hypoglycemia, and we start feeling shaky and weak. So in order to be successful in our goals, we need to be putting good food into it. One of my favorite things, and we need to retrain our bacteria. So I'm going to come back to our bacteria. A couple things we need to do is we need to feed our bacteria good probiotics. Okay. The probiotics I love to use every day is a probiotic called Probio. Really simple, right? Why do I like it? Because one, it has a couple of different technologies. It has a BioTrack technology. It allows it to get into my gut. Okay. And it delivers most of the probiotics into that, about 4 billion probiotics into it. And number two, it has a product in it called Wellmune. Now, why do I want to have a strong immune system? Anybody heard of COVID? Okay, or the flu that's going around right now? All right. Who wants to have a flu? I don't care if it's COVID or not. Who wants to get sick with the flu? I don't. I don't like flus. I don't like being down. So if I can have something that's actually training my bacteria to be craving good things like good vegetables and a little bit of fruits, that's what I want to do. So having your diet is really, really important. I'm going to actually hold this up so you guys can look at it. This is actually just a sample of something I send out to my patients. It's called the Anti-Inflammatory Cookbook. Okay. So why is an anti-inflammatory cookbook so important? Well, we teach people in my office to avoid gluten, dairy, soy, corn, and sugar. right? If you want to improve your mental capacity, your ability to achieve your goals, you've got to be able to be producing the serotonin in your gut, where 95% of it is produced, so that what it starts doing is helping your brain work better. It starts helping your muscles work better. It starts helping your digestive tract works better. Serotonin, 95% is produced in the gut, and there is responsible for 90% of all functions in the body. Dopamine, which is another neurotransmitter in our body, which helps us with muscle coordination, 50% of that is produced in our gut. Okay. People may have heard of Parkinson's. When somebody has Parkinson's, what they're actually lacking in is a proper dose of the dopamine is not there. So they give them an L-Dopa to help them with the tremors and the rigidity of the muscles. Okay, so what we want to do is, how can we help our body do that? Well, let's reduce the inflammation in it. Okay, if we reduce inflammation through diet and exercise, that really helps. Okay, so putting good fuel into our car is really important. Taking proper nutrients is really important. Okay, I also do digestive enzymes. I think that's very important for almost everybody to do. And not all digestive enzymes are equal. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a little demonstration with my staff, but we're going to do a Facebook Live with it tomorrow. And I'm going to show a couple different digestive enzymes in comparison. And I just want to show them how they break down that crazy little puddings called snack pack pudding packs. You know, the stuff we give our kids, it's not good. So that's what I want to do, is I want to show how do we help them. So the last portion I want to talk about here is the emotional condition. How important is emotional health? Okay. There's times I don't want to be at work. And I understand why I don't want to be at work, but there's things that affect our emotional aspect of life, right? If we're emotionally not feeling well, we physically don't feel well, and we usually choose to eat bad foods. Okay, so all three of those are very important, but all three of them interact together. Okay, physically we're not feeling good, we emotionally don't feel good, right? And we crave bad foods. So when we start looking at that, so do things get in our way? Do we actually run into things? Do we ever hurt? Okay. Have you messed up on your diet or messed up on something that you've been doing and you just quit? Okay, you emotionally, I can't deal with this anymore. Have you ever slept in and not made it to the gym? And then you say, you know what, I'm not going to make it to the gym. I'm going to just make this a regular habit. Maybe it's too hot here in Arizona, or maybe it's too cold in Arizona. Okay, or wherever you live, maybe there's snow out there. We've got to realize that we can emotionally set our stage. So how do we go about doing those things? And this is what I really want to come back in, because I want to actually talk about all three of these things. So when we look at this, we have the physical, the nutritional, and the emotional. Okay, and they all interact. And there's other things here, but these are the three things I really want to focus on. When we're physically not feeling good, we crave bad foods for us, okay, which affects our emotional health. And the physical health, because we don't feel good, affects it. So this is what I want you to remember. And this is not coming from me. I actually listened to this from Lisa Nichols. So I had a chance. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of Lisa Nichols. She's written a couple of amazing books. It's just a great thing. And so she says the first thing we need to do in anything that we're doing in life, and this includes our diet, our exercise, reaching our goals, is know your non-negotiables, okay? Look through things through a lens of optionals, conviction versus convenience, okay? Are you convicted to, one, go to work every day and bring that paycheck home? Or are you convicted to eat the diet properly so that you feel better, so that you reduce your chance of having diabetes, okay? So realize, don't let your limiting belief system step in the way or create your outcome, okay? Because we actually all have something that gets in our way at some time, right? So if we're going to the gym and we say, you know what, I've been working out for 3 weeks, and we're 3 weeks into this month, and I haven't lost but 1 pound. Or in fact, I gained 3 pounds, okay? Are you going to quit because you're not seeing the results immediately? Okay, some of the times our body is trying to get rid of toxins, and so then it starts pulling on more water to get rid of those toxins in the weight loss or the gym scenario. So that's what we want to do. The second thing I want to talk about is staying the power of quitting. Okay. Is there times that it's good to quit? Is it good? There are times good to quit. There are good times to quit. Okay. I'm going to quit eating ice cream. Is that a good thing if I'm trying to lose weight? I'm going to quit sitting on the couch and watching TV. Is that a good time to quit? Something like that. Okay. I'm going to quit procrastinating and go for my walk or go for my run or go to the gym. Okay. So quitting is not, we think of it when we do something, quitting is bad or negative in our lives, right? We don't want to think that way anymore. We want to think of staying at quitting. There's certain things we want to quit. We want to quit those bad habits that keeping us from being successful in whatever it is. Okay. The last thing is, or the not last thing, the third thing is the route to rise. Okay. Now, when I heard her talk about this, it was a kind of a revealing thing for me. When I thought about this, I said, you know what? A route to rise. I want to lose weight. I want to become physically healthy. Okay. What does that look like to me? Okay. So we should put a big vision board of what that looks like. We want to put a vision board of us having good health. One of the things I put is spending time with my grandkids, okay, for my physical health. If I'm not physically able to hang out and run around with my 9 to 2-year-old grandkids that wear me out anyway, then I'm not going to have any fun. So the route to rise is being able to look at things and saying, okay, how do I bring my self-esteem up to a point where I'm physically able to hang with my kids and I'm able to do things with my kids? Okay. This individual patient of mine that shared this with me, that's what all of a sudden happened to her. She wanted to curl up in a ball and lay on her bed and do nothing because now her kids were back home. Her job was already overwhelming and she doesn't enjoy it. Okay. And so she's sitting here looking at things going, how do I get to this point? So we talked about her route to rise, getting on that pillar and stepping outside that box and making ourselves some of the times do it because we're going to have to. Do I like to go to the gym? Yeah, I guess I do. But do I always like to go to the gym? No, because there's tons of people there and I don't like hanging out talking to people. I go to the gym so I don't have to talk to people. Okay. But I do like to go to the gym so I can actually help myself. So the route to rise is making sure that I go to the gym, making sure I'm doing my runs and things that I do. So here's something I want you. Hurricanes blow down a lot of buildings when they happen. Okay. Before they uproot many trees. So think about that. If a building could get blown down easily, what is the problem? Maybe the foundation is not as good. Maybe it's not a strong thing. But if we have our roots deep inside and we're dug in and we have our convictions and our goals and our things that we want to do, then we can rise where we need to be. So, you know, I tell people all the time that I have troubles with remembering things or saying things backwards. I always say, you know, I'm dyslexic. And so at times I have problems because I struggle with that. And so I get nervous when I get in front of a group of people. I'm scared to death when I have to talk to people. Okay. Not really, not anymore, but that used to be the way it is. Now I'm scared to death to get on Zoom and talk to people. All right. Because I don't have that interaction here, but I need to functionally go about that. The fourth thing I want to talk about, forgive for freedom. What does that mean? All right. We've all been hurt by somebody, right? We've all had to forgive somebody. We've all hurt somebody and we had to have forgiveness. How often do we forgive ourselves for not getting out of bed in the morning and going to the gym or doing our exercise routine that we had, right? How often do we just say, you know what? It's just who I am. I'm that way. No matter what happens, I'm just going to be that type of person and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to try. Okay. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself. Don't keep yourself hostage of your past. Okay. Do you want to be back in those clothes that you wanted to be in? You know, maybe that size 34 pants. Okay. Or that size 32 pants that you were in high school or whatever it was, guys. I'm not going to bring up girls' sizes because that gets me in trouble. Okay. So what I want you to do is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for sitting down there eating ice cream or watching TV. Forgive yourself for being angry towards your spouse or your mother. When we don't forgive and when we don't allow that, it interferes with our life. Okay. It interferes with our ability to become well and to reach our goals, whether it's through physical exercise, through our business adventures, through our things that we want to achieve. When we can't forgive somebody, if we don't make those 10 phone calls that we need to make every day, and we sit back and say, well, it's just who I am. I'm not going to worry about it. And then eventually we don't do that any longer. Okay, it becomes something in the past because we don't give ourselves forgiveness, gives us freedom. So do that in your weight loss program. That's one of the things I gave her permission because she's wanting to get feeling better. She feels yucky all the time. This individual does, and she wants to feel better. The last thing I want to talk about is failing forward. Okay. Fail forward. You know what? Are we going to have those days that we're going to miss going to the gym? Are we going to have those days that maybe life gets in a rut with us? Or are we going to have those days that we're just having troubles and we're trying to find out how to get through a problem? Okay, I had that this afternoon. I was getting ready to do this and I had a patient was still here at 6 o'clock tonight. Okay, and I'm sitting here going, I'm a little stressed out. I want to kind of get revamped on what I'm going to talk about tonight. But she was still in the office. And I was like, oh, you got to get out of the office. I'm trying to do a meeting, and she was wanting to talk to me. And I was trying to get her out the office. So was my office manager. So remember to fail forward on occasions. I answered a couple of her questions, says, you know what, let's talk about that on our next visit a little bit. Write those questions down for me. So make sure that when you're having that moment, don't let that affect you're going to do. Don't let that affect where you're going to be. Fail forward, get yourself up and go again. How many people have walked up a mountain and they tripped over a rock and they've fallen down? Which way do you want to fall? Right? If you fall backwards, you may go down the mountain. That's not a good way to go. If you fall forward, you're probably going to just land on the ground. You may get skinned up, right? And you may have to put a Band-Aid on that, but you fell forward. So, when I think of those things, we need to overcome our obstacles that are in our way. And so when you think of those, you start making excuses. When we start looking at this physically, I'm sore. I can't go to the gym. I hurt too bad. Okay. Nutritionally, I messed up on my nutrition. I really messed up. I can't keep eating. I'm going to just give up. All right. Emotionally, I'm just exhausted. Work was really overwhelming today. And I don't want to go to the gym tonight because you know what? I have to sit there and listen to their crazy music. And it's just not what I want to be doing today. Okay. And there's going to be those days that we do that, but realize it's okay to have bad days, but fail forward and gather yourself up and continue up the mountain. Okay. It's a journey in the weight loss. It's a journey in your business. It's a journey in life. It's a journey in your marriage. It's a journey in raising your kids. Okay. Enjoy the moment where you're at. So with that being said, I'd just like to just say, push beyond those conflicts and those things that get in your way. All right. Don't let them be an obstacle. Don't let them be an obstacle. Push through it and rise above. You fell at your diet, get back on your diet. You have an emotionally bad day and you yell and scream and you don't feel like going to the gym. Forgive yourself, forgive the person that you're upset at and move forward. Physically, if you're not getting where you want to be, love yourself no matter what. Say, I love myself. I love myself even though I have a role that's hanging over me. Okay. I love myself even though I don't look like I did when I was in high school. Accept who you are, rise above it, and continue on the journey. So thank you guys so much for your time tonight. I hope that's helpful. I hope the information we gave you here is going to be able to help you not only in your life right now and all aspects of your life, diet, business, journeys, family, etc. Fell forward. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And we will be back next week doing more of this. And Dr. Hatch, we talked about jumping on and doing a lot more about the emotional aspect, because I think we hear a lot about nutritional and physical, but not so much about the emotional and what we can do for ourselves. And that technique you were just saying, I completely love and forgive myself that was something that Dr. Brimhall talked about the week before. So be sure to check out that Wednesday Wellness that we had done. So thank you everyone for jumping on, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. And remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.